Dovetail joints. These are a type of woodworking joint known for their strength, durability, and aesthetic appeal. They're commonly used in cabinetry, furniture making, and other woodworking projects. Dovetail joints feature interlocking trapezoidal pins and tails that create a mechanical lock, making them resistant to pulling forces. To make dovetail joints, you will need the following tools and materials: woodworking saw, chisels, marking gauge, marking knife, dovetail jig optional, mallet or hammer, clamps, wood glue, safety goggles, and safety equipment. Here's a step-by-step guide on making dovetail joints. Select the wood you want to use for your project. Mark the wood using a marking gauge or marking knife to create reference lines. Indicate location of the pins and tails on both pieces of wood. The angle and spacing of dovetails will depend on your project and personal preference. Start by cutting the pins on one piece of wood. There are several methods to cut dovetails, including hand cutting or using a dovetail jig. If cutting by hand, use a dovetail saw to carefully cut along the marked lines, ensuring that the saw is angled to match the slope of the dovetail. Transfer the pins to the second piece. Once the pins are cut, carefully place the piece with the pins into the second piece of wood. Use a pencil or knife to trace the outline of the pins into the second piece. This will serve as a guide for cutting the tails. Cut the tails. Use a coping saw or dovetail saw to cut along the traced lines on the second piece of wood, creating the tails. Make sure to cut just outside the lines to leave some material for fitting. Once the pins and tails are cut on both pieces of wood, test the fit by sliding the pieces of wood together. They should fit snugly without excessive force. Apply glue and assemble. Dovetail joints require skill and practice to master, but they offer exceptional strength and a visual appeal. Remember to prioritize safety by wearing appropriate protective gear and using tools properly. With patience and precaution, you can create beautiful dovetail joints that enhance the quality and craftsmanship of your woodworking projects.